London in the 1700s was a city of extremes, a booming metropolis of over 500,000 people, the largest city in Europe, yet plagued by filth, disease, and chaos that would ultimately reshape the modern city. This was the age of Georgian elegance and brutal poverty existing side by side, where elegant squares rose in the West End while the poor drowned in squalor, where architects like Christopher Wren rebuilt the city in grand Baroque style while open sewers ran through the streets. Thanks to advanced AI technology, we can now transform centuries-old engravings and paintings into photorealistic scenes, bringing these lost streets back to life. By analyzing actual 18th century artwork, we're able to show how London truly looked, the architecture, the streets, the people, and the atmosphere of the time, allowing us to step back nearly 300 years and experience the city as Londoners once did. This is an extraordinary bird's-eye view of the City of London from the mid-18th century. Looking up the River Thames from what would later become the site of Tower Bridge, you're seeing the beating heart of Georgian London, the world's largest port and the center of global commerce. Dominating the skyline is Sir Christopher Wren's magnificent St. Paul's Cathedral, completed in 1710 after the Great Fire of 1666 destroyed the medieval city. Its massive dome, inspired by St. Peter's in Rome, rose 365 feet into the smoky London sky, a symbol of resurrection and renewal. To the right stands the monument to the Great Fire, 202 feet tall, exactly the distance from its base to the bakery on Pudding Lane where the catastrophe began. The Thames is crowded with sailing ships, rowing boats, and timber barges. This was London's highway, teeming with trade from across the British Empire. Sugar from the Caribbean, tobacco from Virginia, tea from China, all flowing through this single river. The old London Bridge is still lined with houses and shops, medieval structures already beginning to collapse, soon to be removed. This view captures London at the height of its Georgian prosperity. This is the iconic view from One Tree Hill in Greenwich Park, looking northwest toward London. In 1884, this would become the prime meridian, the center point from which all longitude is measured. Below lies the Queen's House, flanked by the colonnades of Greenwich Hospital, completed in 1751 as a home for retired naval seamen. These Baroque masterpieces proclaimed Britain's dominance of the seas. The hospital housed up to 2,700 veterans, men who fought the wars that built the empire. Fashionably dressed visitors admire what was considered one of England's finest views, unchanged even today. This is Leicester Square in the mid-18th century, one of London's most fashionable addresses. Leicester House dominates the square, once home to royalty. The area became a magnet for artistic genius. William Hogarth lived nearby, producing satirical prints exposing London's corruption. Sir Joshua Reynolds would later establish his portrait studio here, becoming the first president of the Royal Academy. At the center stands an equestrian statue of King George I. Yet this aristocratic calm would soon give way to theaters, music halls, and mass entertainment. Now we stand on the south bank of the Thames, looking toward the Tower of London, Britain's most formidable fortress. For over 700 years, it controlled access to the city. The White Tower, built by William the Conqueror in 1078, had walls 15 feet thick. By this era, the tower was palace, prison, armory, mint, and treasury. Prisoners arrived by barge through Traitor's Gate. Anne Boleyn, Catherine Howard, Lady Jane Grey, and Sir Thomas More all passed through these waters, never to return. The tower stood as both protection and warning. This is the bustling courtyard of the Royal Exchange, where global commerce converged. Founded in 1565, it was England's first purpose-built trading center. Merchants gathered twice daily, deals shouted in dozens of languages. Lloyd's of London insured ships from these galleries. News could make or ruin fortunes in minutes. This building transformed London into a financial superpower. This is St. James Square, the pinnacle of aristocratic London. Designed for the elite, it featured landscaped gardens, ornamental basins, and ironwork fencing. Dukes and prime ministers competed for residence here. Over time, gentlemen's clubs and institutions replaced private homes, shaping London's elite social world. This is Cheapside, the heart of Georgian London. Home to goldsmiths, drapers, and luxury merchants, it was the most valuable retail street in the city. The Bow Bells of St. Mary-le-Bow defined true Cockneys. Indian calicos, Chinese silks, and English wool passed through these shops. This wasn't just a street, it was the Oxford Street and Wall Street of the 1700s rolled into one, where London's merchant class built their empires.
This is Covent Garden Market in the early 1700s. Once a fashionable square, it had declined into a noisy, chaotic center of food distribution. Market traders arrived before dawn. The smells were overwhelming: rotting vegetables, manure, unwashed bodies. Yet this market fed over 500,000 people and remained essential until its relocation in 1974. This is Newgate Prison, one of the most notorious buildings in London. Conditions were horrific. Prisoners paid for food, light, and space. Typhus swept through cells. Public hangings outside the walls became mass entertainment, drawing tens of thousands. Vendors sold gin and pamphlets describing crimes. Execution days were public holidays. The prison embodied fear, punishment, and spectacle. This is the Pool of London, the busiest anchorage on earth. Ships packed the river so tightly the water was barely visible. Goods were unloaded into smaller boats, making theft rampant. River pirates stole up to a third of all cargo. Slave ships completed the triangular trade, fueling Britain's wealth at a terrible human cost. The chaos forced the construction of enclosed docks in the 19th century. London in the 1700s was a city of contradictions: elegance and brutality, wealth and misery. Coffee houses buzzing with Enlightenment ideas stood near slums ravaged by disease. It was the London of Hogarth, Handel, and Samuel Johnson, of ambition and survival. History has left us thousands of engravings and paintings, snapshots frozen in time. With modern technology, we can bring them back to life. So tell us in the comments, which city should we revive next? Your choice could appear in our next video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the past.